Hola, welcome back. Still talking about some present participles. Just as a recap, the AR verbs end with ANDO as a present participle. That ANDO is going to be the same as the ING in English. All right, so for bailar, we have bailando, which means dancing with an ING ending. The same for ER and IR verbs. Their ending is iendo. Again, it means ing. So comiendo means eating. Viviendo means living. All right. But what you're really here for is the irregulars that I keep talking about. The first set, we call them I to Y spelling changers. All right. This only happens to either ER or IR verbs that end in a vowel. All right. And that would be when you take off the ER or IR, that they end in a vowel. All right. The reason we call them that is the I in yendo changes to a Y. So the new ending would be yendo instead of iendo. All right. The reason we do this is to keep a pronunciation of certain verbs. Okay, so back before Spanish was written down, and it had already established, the verbal or the speaking, the conversational rules. All right, then when they, the people years and years ago sat down and said, okay, we're going to write this language down, they had to come up with some rules. And this was one of them, to keep that pronunciation. All right, the biggest example and the most common one that you're going to come across in your Spanish career and continuing on is going to be the verb leer. All right, we know that means to read. All right, so hear me out. If we did this the regular way and take off that ER, all right, you see we're left with a vowel. All right, we're left with LE. It ends with a vowel. If we were to put on the normal regular ending of IENDO, all right, take a look at that. Keep in mind that it's wrong. All right, the pronunciation of this spelling would be leyendo. All right, if you try saying that with me, leyendo. All right, it kind of sounds a little choppy. It just doesn't sound good. It doesn't flow very well. All right, so what we do instead, we're going to take out that I. We change it to a Y. All right, because the more you would say that, leyendo, 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 you're ending up with what this says, leyendo. All right. So now we're happy again. All right. The meaning of leyendo would be reading. All right. If you said yo estoy leyendo, you'd be saying I am reading. Okay. Another example although not very common at all, the verb ir. All right, if we were to take away the IR, well, we're left with nothing. And then we just get yendo. We just add the ending. All right, which would be going. Although this is not at all common. All right. Even though it's grammatical, you're not going to hear it. It just doesn't get used. All right, I'm just pointing it out to your attention. Another verb that is going to be common, that's going to come up for you, is the verb construir. Which means to build or to construct. All right. Construir works this way as well. All right. So if we take off, I'll do it this way. Construir. All right. So if we take off that IR, we're left with a vowel. And we add yendo for building. That would be the act of building, not like a building you go in. That's a whole different word. Or constructing. All right. You could say, yo estoy construyendo con mis Legos. All right. I am building with my Legos. All right. For those of you that used to play with Legos, or maybe still do. Who knows? Okay. Bum, bum, bum. There's always an exception to this rule. All right, so I'm going to give you this verb, seguir. All right, seguir means to continue. Or to follow. All right. So seguir is a little weird. We have two things going on. First, it's a boot verb, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But second, all right, let's take a look at this. All right, so we're going to see in a second that boot verbs, this I is going to eventually change to a Y. Okay, but here we go. Our rule for the I to Y spelling changes. Okay. All right, if we take off that IR, right, we're left with a vowel. But here's the exception. All right, in Spanish, the GU works very similar to the English QU. All right, and in English, we know that we always pair Q and U together and it makes one sound. All right, as in queen or quick or quiet. All right, we never see them apart and it makes one sound. The same thing applies to the GU in Spanish. All right, to keep a G sound. So it's almost like that U is not even there. All right, even though it is. So because it's silent, we're going to go off the G, which means that it's a consonant. So we add a regular IR ending, which would be iendo. So this pronunciation would be siguiendo. All right, even though remember the U is silent. All right, and this would mean continuing following. All right. So that is your I to Y. The other thing you have, the other irregulars, are IR boot verbs. Okay. We're still, for all of these, we still want to use the endo ending, right? Because they are IRs. But there's going to be a little spelling change inside the word itself. All right. So in the boot verb, if it has an O, it's going to change to a U. All right. Example. The most common one you are going to come across is the verb dormir. All right. We have an O here. That O is going to change to a U. All right. All right, so we change the O to a U. We take off the IR. So we're left with dorm. And then add our ending, durmiendo. So that would be sleeping. Okay. The other change we have is for boot verbs that have E's, we change them to I. And we kind of talked about that up here with seguir. All right. So seguir was one. Another verb that we come across a lot that is like this is the verb servir, to serve. All right, where this E is going to change to an I. And you're left with sirviendo, or serving, as in he is serving the meal. All right, él está sirviendo la comida. All right, very, very easy. Once you get used to it, it's only for verbs, the boot verbs that end with IR. All right, again, I gave you some of the most common ones that we come across. Dormir, servir, seguir. Just keep in mind, I always let you know if it's a boot verb. I try to help you out as much as I can. But again, we're just going to keep practicing with these. I hope this explanation helped a little bit, that you could come back to it and whatnot. And if you have any other questions about these, I know these two irregular things can be a little bit tricky. Never hesitate to come find me and ask. All right? Thank you very much. Gracias mucho.